A couple days ago, we just got the announcement of LEGO and Pokemon sets coming soon in 2026. So today, I wanted to discuss what we could kind of expect for some LEGO Pokemon, and right here I have the official LEGO.com website, kind of talking a little bit about what's coming, but I kind of want to speculate in this video of the kind of sets that we could expect next year. So first off here, LEGO Pokemon coming soon. Electrify your imagination in 2026 and get ready to build some new, never before seen built LEGO bricks before. That was kind of not exactly what it said, but right here is what we really want to see. So what is LEGO Pokemon? It's a brand new collaboration that brings your love for bricks and your love for Pokemon together in 2026. We're calling all Pokemon trainers to get ready to build and catch some of their favorite Pokemon. Catch some of their favorite Pokemon. Interesting. We can't say that we have, no, but in 2026, the answer to that question will be totally different. Let's see. Will the LEGO Group ever make Pokemon sets? Nothing is possible. Yes. How can I stay updated? Blah, blah, blah. So we are getting, like I said, officially Pokemon LEGO sets. Now, this is really exciting for me, at least, because I love LEGO and I love Pokemon. So the first route LEGO can take, and the route that a lot of people probably don't like, is the LEGO Super Mario route. Now, these are just some examples of some sets that we've gotten from Super Mario, but mainly the main line of Super Mario sets are these upscaled versions of the Mario characters that can kind of interact with this awesome play feature. I personally don't have any of these sets because I'm not that much big of a fan of Mario. I more so like Pokemon, but this is kind of like this interactive play feature that LEGO has created with Mario, and essentially you could kind of create levels and you could play with the Mario characters such as like Peach, Luigi, Mario. As you can see right here, it's an interactive experience, and so that's probably one of the routes LEGO could take with Pokemon. The only question I have with this is like, what exactly would Pokemon do? Like, what would their interactive thing be? Because I do find this interesting, and I actually would not mind Pokemon taking this route, especially because we have, as you can see here, the brick built Yoshi. Now, I don't want the Pokemon looking that blocky, but I mean, that is an option here to have. But that's one option. Another option is definitely that we will for sure see dioramas like this, where we see characters built, or like some pixel art. Now, some pixel art of the Pokemon would absolutely be fantastic. I would definitely love to see that. But 100% we're going to get stuff like this, where we essentially get Pokemon characters fully brick built like this. As you can see, we have the Piranha Plant, and some other examples is like this Stitch. As you can see, it's a fully built Stitch LEGO set, and we could definitely see something like this for Pikachu and all the Pokemon starters, Gen 1 starters specifically. And part of the reason I also say this is because next year is Pokemon's 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary? Yes, 30th anniversary, which is absolutely insane. So they're obviously going to pull out all the stops with Gen 1 Pokemon. So definitely I could see a line of like this brick build style of Pokemon with all the Gen 1 starters, possibly all the starters from Gen 1 to Gen 10 maybe. That's a possibility. But yeah, it's definitely dioramas like this. Of course, other people want actual minifigure scale sets, such as like the Sonic stuff, where we get either locations and variety of stuff. So when it comes to a line like this, the big question is, and even for the stuff with like the Mario stuff, is what exactly do you pull from for Pokemon? Because Pokemon is such a vast thing where it's got literally about to have 10 generations worth of content on top of 2 Pokemon animes that you could pull from, whether it be the Ash stuff or the new stuff with Horizons. So when you do sets like this, you really do have to consider, where are we going to pull from? Are we going to pull from Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4? Are we going to have separate waves for each generation? Are we going to have sets for the anime? So when it comes to minifigure stuff, what characters do you make into minifigures? Do you do red? Do you do blue? Do you do friggin' Hilda and other characters, you know, from Gen 5? Do you do Ash? Do you do Brock? And all that stuff is like, what do you focus on with LEGO Pokemon? Do you focus more on the Pokemon as opposed to the trainers, you know? So I think what people aren't understanding, I feel like when they say they want LEGO Pokemon is they want figures of all the characters, is that is an insane amount of characters that there are to make into LEGO figure form and to make sets like this. Because the Pokemon world is so vast that Pokemon and LEGO are gonna have to pick and choose what they make sets of. So if they focus more on the Pokemon doing stuff like this, it's, you know, more reasonable that they would go this route, or the route with the Super Mario stuff where it's more of a play feature as opposed to collectible sets. Now, I'm not saying they can't do collectible sets, but I just don't think the minifigure route is the way to go. Now, because if they go the minifigure route, they could go the Jurassic World or Jurassic Park route, where they make the minifigures and a lot of the Pokemon could be molded. Now, I say a lot of the Pokemon could be molded because I think the bigger the Pokemon get, the less molded they should be. Now, as you can see, we do have like the T-Rexes and all that stuff, but I think the Pokemon that should be molded here should be stuff like the Pikachu, the Squirtle, all the starter Pokemon. And once you get into Pokemon like the Rayquazas, maybe the Charizard, you start getting into brick build stuff. But my issue with this sort of lineup with Pokemon, if they do decide to go to sets routes and make stuff molded or versus brick build, is in terms of scale. What scale do you use for Pokemon? Because with this, you could do a variety of scales. Now, as you can see here, with this set here, and specifically, you can make stuff super, super small. Now, this would be like the size of the Pikachu. But once you start to get into the size of, let's say, a Charizard, what size do you go with? Do you go the size of this Raptor here, or do you go slightly bigger? Now, I do want to show you guys some Takara Tomy figures and kind of give you a sense of scale to the minifigure and how big they could go with these Pokemon figures. So once it starts getting into the bigger Pokemon, it's really about choosing what scale you're going to do when you do the minifigure type sets. The two on the left are Pokemon figures from the Takara Tomy line, the one on the right is from the Shoto line, and the far right one is the Nendoroid one. Now, if LEGO were to do brick built or molded Pokemon, I think the Shoto line of this Charizard would be the perfect scale, I think, for if they were to include Charizard in the set. So for Pokemon around Charizard's height, if you start doing it bigger than this particular figure, the scale kind of starts to change a little bit and look not completely well. They can maybe get away if they built the Pokemon to the Nendoroid scale, but I think that would just be too big in comparison to the minifigure. So I think the biggest issue with the Pokemon line being this kind of sets where you have the minifigures, you have the locations, and you have the Pokemon is really what scale are they going to go for? And this is kind of just to give you an idea of the multiple type of scales that we could see if they do a Pokemon like Charizard and Pokemon similar to Charizard's height and what that could look like. Now, one thing, and probably my least favorite kind of outcome, would be the brick heads. Now, I do definitely see Pokemon and LEGO doing brick heads for sure, 100%. I just hope that this isn't everything we get from Pokemon. And also, I just kind of wanted to point out this, is that they could totally do something like this too. If they want to do like a Red or Ash figure like this, they could totally do like a diorama like this where they have Ash and they have a brick built Pikachu to the scale like the minions. So the possibilities for Pokemon is endless. I know a lot of people want this kind of style of sets, but again, Pokemon is just so vast where I think no matter what they decide to do, they're going to run into the problem of what exactly do we hone in? Do we do Gen 1 first, Gen 2? And because they're releasing this on Pokemon's 30th year anniversary, it's going to be a little bit more hectic because it's a celebration of Pokemon, you know. So who knows what we'll see when it comes to that. But regardless of which, I'm super excited. No matter what they do decide to release, I'm going to be buying it because it's LEGO Pokemon and I love Pokemon, and I love LEGO, so this is all very exciting news. But what do you guys think? What do you want to see from LEGO Pokemon? Leave a comment down below and leave your theories down below on what you think LEGO and Pokemon will be releasing next year. So with all that said, hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, share this video with a friend, and I will see you all next time. Taco out.